So you're probably using ChatGPT or Claude, and you're wondering, is Google's new AI model really worth your time? Well, after spending weeks putting Gemini 3.1 Pro through its paces, we've got a definitive answer for you right here. Let's just dive right into the big question, right? You've already got a workflow. You know your tools. Is there a really compelling reason to actually switch over to Gemini 3.1 Pro? The short answer, yeah, absolutely. The jump in its ability to reason isn't just a small step forward. It's a fundamental leap that completely changes what you can expect an AI to do. And in this breakdown, we're going to cover exactly what that means for you. So what exactly is this new model? Well, it was released back in February 2026, and trust me, this is not just another update. This is the flagship large multimodal model from Google DeepMind, and it's built on a totally different kind of architecture. The secret sauce here is something called a sparse mixture of experts. Now, that sounds super technical, I know, but all it really means is that the model is incredibly powerful. We're talking billions of parameters, but it's also smart enough to only fire up the specific parts it needs for your task. That makes it both ridiculously capable and super efficient. And that efficiency leads us to its biggest advantage, native multimodality. See, unlike other models that are mostly text-based, Gemini was built from the ground up to understand text, images, audio, video, and code all at the same time. You can literally give it a video, a chunk of code, and a question, and it can reason across all of them in one single, seamless thought process. Okay, so that all sounds great, but what does this new architecture actually mean for performance? Let's get into the hard data, because this is where Gemini 3.1 Pro really starts to pull away from the pack. Just take a look at these numbers. This is the Erica AGI 2 benchmark. It tests abstract reasoning with really complex logic puzzles. The previous version, Gemini 3 Pro, scored a 31%. Gemini 3.1 Pro, over 77%. I mean, that's not a small jump. It's a massive leap in its ability to actually think. To put it as simply as possible, Google more than doubled the model's performance on tough, abstract reasoning. And that's the kind of jump that actually changes your workflow and the kinds of problems you can even think about solving with AI. And here's the kicker. It's not just about raw power. It's also about being incredibly efficient. Independent tests from JetBrains found that Gemini 3.1 Pro gave better, more accurate code while using 15% fewer tokens. What does that mean for you? It means you get smarter results faster and for less money. It's a win-win-win. So we've established it's an absolute powerhouse. Now you're probably wondering, okay, how do I get my hands on it? Let's get into the practical side of things. Access, specs, and of course, the cost. You've got a few main ways in. For big enterprise-level work, you're going to use Vertex AI. If you're just trying out ideas, testing prompts, and prototyping, AI Studio is your best bet. It's fantastic. And hey, if you're a Google AI Pro or Ultra subscriber, you already have access through the Gemini Chat app and Notebook LM for that deep dive research. Now let's talk about two numbers that are just true game changers. First, the context window is over 1 million tokens. Let that sink in. That means you can feed it entire books, massive code bases, long videos, or huge datasets, and it can analyze it all in one go. And the output limit is also huge, over 65,000 tokens, which is more than enough to generate a whole application from scratch. And what about the cost? Okay, this is where it gets really compelling. Gemini 3.1 Pro is just $2 per million input tokens and $12 for output. Now, compare that to a major competitor like Claude 3.4, which is running around $15 for input and a whopping $75 for output. Gemini is giving you way more reasoning power for just a fraction of the cost. Okay, for all you developers out there, here are 3 quick tips to really get the most out of the API. First, you have to explicitly enable function calling if you want Gemini to use tools like Google Search. It's not on by default. Second, make sure you use the custom tools endpoint for any complex workflows. And third, and this is a big one, use context caching. Instead of resending a huge file every time, you can cache it to save a ton of money and speed things up. All right, let's get to the most important part of this whole thing. How do you write prompts that unlock all this new power? Honestly, the best way to think about it is that you're not just commanding an AI anymore. You are briefing a new, incredibly smart colleague. First things first, always start with a clear role. You have to give the AI a persona. It's a simple step, but it dramatically changes the depth and style of the response. focusing its expertise exactly where you need it most. So for example, don't just ask it to write code. Start your prompt with something like this. You are an expert Python developer creating documentation for a junior team. Gemini responds incredibly well to these kinds of persona cues. Second, its reasoning ability is its superpower, right? So let it show its work. You have to explicitly ask it to think step by step. This not only gives you a better final answer, but it also lets you see its logic, which is absolutely crucial for complex problems. Just adding a simple phrase like, explain your reasoning step by step, or break this down into logical phases, gives the model permission to unpack the problem, and you'll get far more accurate and detailed results. It's like a magic trick. And finally, this is a crucial shift in thinking, but it's what unlocks Gemini's true potential. Don't just ask it questions based on its internal knowledge. You have to instruct it to use the powerful tools it has access to. So, instead of asking a generic question, you prompt it to take action. Say something like, search Google for the latest breakthroughs from 2026 and summarize the top 3 developments with source links. I promise you the difference in the quality of the answer is night and day. So we've seen its power, we know how to use it, but look, no model is perfect. To wrap this all up, let's take a balanced look at what Gemini can do today, and just as importantly, what it can't. Its capabilities are pretty clear: complex reasoning, mixing creative and technical tasks, and analyzing huge amounts of data. But you have to know its limits. It can still hallucinate, so you always have to verify critical information. Its knowledge base cuts off in January 2025 unless you tell it to use the search tool, and this is a big one. While it's a wizard with text and code, it does not generate images or video directly. At the end of the day, Gemini 3.1 Pro represents a huge step forward. It's a shift from just having a simple tool to having a powerful collaborator. So the real question isn't just what can it do anymore, it's how are you going to brief your new colleague? The potential here is absolutely massive, and it's ready for you to start exploring.